Good morning, guys. So today it's a vlog day. I know I don't vlog that much in this channel. Normally I used to take you with me to conventions, but conventions have been cancelled, if you haven't heard of, because 2020 sucks. However, in Germany and the Netherlands and other countries, going to the cinema is allowed again, with measures, of course. And I have been invited again by a good friend to go to these fantasy film fests. It's called. It takes place a couple of times a year in different cities in Germany, and they show normally releases from the year before or things that are still about to come out here in Germany. And I always love to go to see some movies, things that maybe I wouldn't have seen by myself anywhere else, because some of these movies are from like countries like Poland and things like that, or South Korea, so it's always interesting. They always show the movies as well in original version with subtitles, which I appreciate as well. And there are 5 movies running today, Saturday, and 5 movies running tomorrow. So today I'm going to be able probably to see the first 4, and I'm gonna have to skip the last one. So I just wanted to quickly let you know before we go to the festival which movies I will be watching today. So today the movies that are running is first The Man Standing Next. This is a 2020 film and it is a South Korean political drama. So it's something I would normally not watch just because it's not my cup of tea, but I'm always open to this kind of things. And sometimes these movies, you know, are surprising when you don't regularly watch movies from this genre. And I do like Korean cinema, so I'm excited to check that one out. The next one is The Intruder, El Prófugo. This is an Argentinian 2020 release, and it is about this woman that after a traumatic event has problems to separate reality with her imagination. So this sounds fantastic. Next we have The True History of the Kelly Gang. This one did came out last year in 2019, and it is what is known as an Australian Western, or kangaroo Western. Okay, and it is based on a novel, and it is based on the Ned Kelly gang and his family and stuff. I don't really know much about them, so I'm really intrigued, and by the pictures that I have seen from the movie, it does look a little bit disturbing, so I'm up for that. And the last one I don't know much about, but I know that it is kind of supernatural and has to do with evil forces, I believe. It's called The Vigil from 2019. So these 4 I am for sure, I think, hopefully gonna watch today. They run one after each other. And the last one, which is the one I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to, is We Summon the Darkness, because it runs the last one, so it's kind of late for me. And I still have to get back home tonight. And also because this one also came out last year, and I do have access to this film at home. So probably what I'm gonna do is just watch the first 4 and just skip the last one, you know, so I can come home earlier and I can still check out that movie because I have access to it at home. And I was planning to watch We Summon the Darkness together with Little Monsters, because they're both horror comedies that came out last year. So I thought, you know, I could make a double feature video to give you a quick review of some horror comedies that came out last year. And now let's go to the city center to check out this film fest. It is very small. It is in a very small kind of premium cinema with like premium seats and things like that. So there is not many people that go to this fest, and they are taking measures. And I'm going prepared with my mask with some disinfectant. So I'm gonna be safe, don't worry about that. And I really like the atmosphere that it has. It's like putting a lot of movie horror freaks into one room. So I feel like, you know, I'm in my jam there. I haven't been to one of these events in a long time now, and also cinemas have been closed, so I am super excited to be able to go again out to the cinema and to be able to watch a couple of movies and just have fun. See you later, Lilith. Say see you later. Yes, see you. Hi, Becky. See you later, my old boy. Yes, yes. Be good. Take care of your sister. guys, we just came out from the first and the second film. I just wanted to give you a quick update on both movies before we go to the second round of the other films. So the first one was the South Korean political drama. It's called The Man Standing Next, and it was purely a political drama. It was very slow paced. It is based on true events, but of course there's things that they had to change. You will love it if you like your typical kind of mafia films and like slow burn political movies, especially if you're interested in the political system of South Korea in the 70s, around the time. It's not what I was expecting, because normally in this festival you get movies that are a little bit more how do you say, like aggressive. There's always more violence, and there was not so much until the very end of this film. And it's a movie that I would have really not seen by myself, so it's nice to come to these kind of events to see these kind of films that else I would have probably not checked out by myself. I think that's mostly the point of going to these festivals. And the second one, it is a mindfuck movie for people that like weird stuff and you're not somebody that has high expectations on films. So this is an Argentinian movie. It's called The Intruder in English. In Spanish is El Prófugo. And it's interesting because I could follow the whole conversation, the whole movie in Spanish, even though it's Argentinian. And it starts like a regular kind of mystery thriller sort of situation. We have a woman that is having nightmares and has a traumatic experience, and after that she's having trouble to focus on what is real and what is part of that nightmare, part of that kind of her imagination, and she's trying to look for help to see what she can do to get rid of this something that is following her. It was a really weird movie. There's things that I saw coming. There is things that you kind of already know that's gonna be part of the ending, but it was really bizarre, and I did enjoy it though in the end. So if you guys like kind of these thriller mindfuck movies, you might want to check this one out as well. So now we're just taking a break. I'm gonna get another coffee because coffee is fundamental, and we're gonna go check out the next two movies. Hi guys, so it is Sunday morning, and last night I got pretty late home after the film fest, and I didn't want to record so late. You know, I don't want to be too loud in my apartment, and also I was super beat it up after 4-movie marathon, going to the city and all of that. So I'm here today, this morning, before I leave again for the festival, to let you know my thoughts on the other two films that ran yesterday. So normally this festival has a lot more of horror and a little bit of sci-fi, but I feel like in this edition we're getting a lot of different films that I would have maybe not checked myself otherwise, because they're not like purely horror. So that is the case of the third film that I watched yesterday, and that is a true story of the Kelly gang. However, this movie was really interesting. It is based obviously on true events, although there are some things of course that might be different from the truth, from the reality, as it always happens, but it is supposed to be one of the most like accurate and longer kind of studies on this family. And they were a family in the 19th century in Australia that kind of started this kind of robbery gang, and the main leader, Ned Kelly, he was kind of insane slightly. So it is such a great exploration of the human psychic and how, you know, the things that happen to you when you're a kid can influence the adult of, you know, that you would become. Having a traumatic childhood doesn't always mean that you're gonna turn up into a serial killer or a robber or anything like that, but it can in a way influence the way that you're gonna become, because those are the things that you're seeing when you're young, when you're your most vulnerable. I really loved the whole exploration of a lot of different characters and not just Ned Kelly, and I thought it was a great story. Beautifully shot. The acting was spot on. Like, the cast was amazing. There is even Russell Crowe in this movie, and his character was hilarious. So if you're looking for your typical Western but with a twist, kind of like true story, and also addressing a little bit kind of mental health, then this one might be for you. In the last film that I watched yesterday was for me the most interesting one of the day because it was purely horror. It's called The Vigil, and this is, I think, the director's debut from Keith Thomas, and he's one to watch because he is working with Blumhouse. They are the ones that distributed The Vigil, and Blumhouse has acquired the rights for Firestarter by Stephen King, and now Keith Thomas is working on a new adaptation of Firestarter. So definitely something that I'm going to be watching closely because I really liked the book, and the movie adaptation with Drew Barrymore I absolutely adore. So, you know, I am open to a new interpretation, but we will see how that one goes because Pet Sematary really messed me up and I don't trust these things anymore. Hi guys, here is Editing Kasha coming at you, interrupting this broadcast. So I was editing the vlog of the Fantasy Film Fest and I realized that I completely forgot to let you know my thoughts on the movie The Vigil. I started talking about Stephen King and the new adaptation of his novel Firestarter, and whenever I start talking about Stephen King, I just, you know, get distracted. So that's what happened, and I'm here now to tell you my thoughts on The Vigil. So The Vigil happens in one night. So basically the whole movie is really dark, it's really eerie, very creepy, and they really create this atmosphere where the film feels super intimate, and it is meant to put the viewer in a very uncomfortable position. I think the movie did such a great job with the whole atmosphere and kind of creating shadows and things that, are they there? Are they not there? This movie is a low budget film, so I think that for some specific scenes, specifically towards the end, they would have really benefited if they would have had a little bit more of budget for them. However, I absolutely love the whole story behind what happened that night, behind that evil force that our main character encounters. The story is this young man that is distancing himself from his family and relatives that are very religious, Jewish Orthodox, and so one day they come to him asking for help, and because he needs money, he agrees. So there is this job in their culture where they basically take vigil. They kind of, you know, make company to a body of a deceased until it can be taken to the funeral home the next morning. So his job is basically to go to this strange woman's house and sit down in front of her husband's deceased body and just read to him and just pray for him and wait until the next morning. So the concept alone that you're gonna spend the night taking care of this body that is laying there on a table covered by a blanket, it is pretty disturbing already, kind of like it's very unsettling to me, at least, and I would not do that job for any kind of money. So all in all, I did enjoy the film. It is a low budget film, but I think that they did a good job with what they had, and also I really appreciated to see a movie that was a little bit different, and it showed me, you know, parts of the culture and parts of the religion that I didn't know about, and it had some myth and some lore. It had some creepy moments, it had a couple of jump scares. I think it is definitely worth a watch. And now let's go back to our regular program. So I'm quickly now, before I go, gonna let you know the movies that are running today that I'm gonna be able to watch. I'm gonna have to sadly again skip the last film, but which is one that I want to watch, but I'm probably gonna try to you know, get access to it in VOD or something. So we have, the first one is a Spanish movie, so I'm excited about it, and it's called Malasaña 32. That's the original title. In English is 32 Malasana Street. They just took out the ñ, which is our N with this kind of like curvy thing on the top. So it's just a family moving to a new house to live the dream of the big city, but then that house turned into their worst nightmares. So really excited to see this one. I do enjoy Spanish horror. I'm always thinking I have to do more videos about that, and then I never do, so probably I should get to that. Then we have Hello World. This is a Japanese anime film, and I think it's like a romance slash sci-fi. I used to watch a lot of anime when I was a kid. You know, I grew up with Dr. Slump, with Dragon Ball Z, and so many other shows that were basically anime. And at some point, I don't know, I kind of stopped, which is sad because there are so many good shows out there. So if you know of any kind of darker anime that is really good, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I should check them out. So then we have Yummy. So excited about this one. We even got, like, you know, masks for our mouths that are kind of like a zombie mask. And I think we're supposed to wear them for the film just for fun. And I'm super excited about this one because it looks extremely gory and is a zombie film, and it is a Belgian film. I don't know what to expect, but I'm hoping it's just gonna be hilarious. And it's just a zombie movie set in a plastic surgery hospital. Like, my body is ready for this. I'm so excited. And the other one I'm also really excited about, it is one that's based on cults, which is something that I really like to watch, and that is The Other Lamb from 2019. And it is a young woman born in an all-female cult, so she starts to question the teaching of her leader, you know, the leader of the cult. I've heard good things about this film. I've heard that the cinematography is really beautiful and stuff, so really excited about this one. And the last one, sadly, it's the one that I'm gonna miss, but I would like to check it out anyways, and that is Follow Me, because it has to do with social media and surviving and all of that stuff. And I am really interested to check any movie that has to do with horror and social media, because I feel like I missed a lot of those, and they are interesting and they're trying to do something innovative. So yeah, let me know what is your favorite horror that includes social media down below, so in case I haven't seen it yet, I can check it out. So now let's go to day 2 of the film fest. Alright, you guys, so I'm all ready to go, and for these type of fest kind of, you know, movie thing, I always like to bring with me a jacket, especially this time of the year, because it can get later on kind of chill. And I do take a backpack with me. Right now is the super horror backpack with my Harry Potter kind of chibi. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I like both worlds. And I take this because I can put here a couple of snacks. You're allowed to bring your own little snacks in. And I do purchase the drinks at the place to support the cinema a little bit, but it is the very fancy premium cinema and everything is super expensive. Plus, I don't really have many snacks. I don't even sell popcorn. I know it's probably one of the only cinemas that doesn't sell popcorn. So I bring my kind of like little snacks because it's also another day where I'm going to be watching 4 movies in a row. So you only have like half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes in between films. So it's not enough time to go to any kind of restaurant or place to get something to eat. So that is what I do. So just some tips in case you're going to a similar festival. So you guys, we are taking a break from the second day of the festival. Today it's a little bit more on the horror side, except an anime that we were watching. So I'm gonna talk to you about the 3 first movies that we watched today. The first one was a supernatural kind of ghost story Spanish movie called Malasaña Street 32. And one of the things that I like is that even though they took a lot of things from popular movies and they didn't do too many like new stuff, they did try to keep you engaged the whole movie. It's basically a family that moves into a house that it's supposed to be haunted by the old woman that was living there and died in that apartment. And so especially the daughter starts to see things that, you know, are a little bit unsettling. And so she starts to wonder what's happening in that house. I don't want to tell you too much about it because then, you know, you spoil kind of the film. But also another thing that I really liked about the movie is Javier Botet was in it. For you that don't know, Javier Botet is the Doug Jones of Spain. He's always doing films like Mama, Mara. He was also in Slender Man. So he's this really tall, really skinny dude. Okay, now let's talk about the second film. So The second film was actually the anime. It was called Hello World, I think. And you know, it's this science fiction combined with romance. And I was kind of expecting, I guess, a little bit more on the science fiction side. And it was a little bit like the plot. There was not much plot. It was more like just a love story, typical Japanese style, you know, where the guy is kind of like a loser that doesn't know how to talk to girls, and you know, and everybody's blushing because it's Japan. So I mean, it's okay, but it's not a movie that I would have chosen for myself. But if you guys are interested in this kind of films, definitely check it out, because I did think that the kind of science fiction part was sort of interesting to figure out what was happening. And the third movie is one of the ones that I think everybody wanted to really see in this festival, which was Yummy. This is the Belgian film, zombie film, and the director of the movie, because sometimes in this festival they put like little clips of the directors before their movie starts so that they can give you a little bit of insight on it. And he did say that this is the very first zombie movie that has been done in Belgium, and I think he said it was crowdfunded as well. So this is for people that just want to watch a movie that it's stupid. There's a lot of gore, and there is not much of a plot really. It's basically how do you say, a surgical kind of hospital for just beauty operations, and then there is a zombie outbreak that happens in there. That's it. So that it's basically no plot, but it's just for the excuse of the zombies and the gore. And there is this main character who is very, very clumsy, and it's hilarious all the time. So this is for people that don't mind things that don't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. People, you know, keep moving after really heavy injuries, things like that. This is not for people that want accurate movies. So it's just for if you want splatter, if you want gore, if you like zombie movies, definitely give this one a try. It's just a lot of fun if you want to watch something with friends. And now after this coffee break, we are gonna watch the last two movies of the festival, and I'll probably get back to you tomorrow with the review for those two. Alright you guys, so it is the next day, as you can tell, and it is Monday morning. I'm just here to wrap up the vlog for you guys. I spent the whole Saturday and Sunday basically just watching movies, sleeping and traveling, so that's all that I did. So it's been quite like a tiring weekend, and I slept like a baby last night. So I'm just here to let you know about the last film that I watched yesterday, which was The Other Lamb, directed and written by two amazing women, and the director is Polish. And I have to say I really enjoyed this film. I can see why a lot of people didn't like it that much. It is a very slow-paced, more focused on character development than plot. You are following the story of a young girl that has been born into a patriarchic cult where there is the leader, which is the shepherd, and then he has different wives and daughters that are the flock, and that's it. He is the only man in this cult, and they live together in the woods. And this film, the cinematography is stunning. The colors are amazing. It is just beautiful to stare at. And everybody in the film is also kind of beautiful. It's like it's such a pleasant movie to watch, but it is so focused on the daily life of the people in the cult, what they do, how they interact with each other, how they survive, what kind of rules, what kind of relationships they have. It's just like a peek into their reality that it is totally strange to us, and it is more that and focusing on the characters and how they live than any plot. There is no real big plot or anything here, so I think that's why many people might not enjoy it that much, because it's just a slow burn kind of character driven film. But I absolutely loved it, and our main character, at some point this little girl starts to question the rules and the beliefs of this cult that she has been born into, and she starts to recognize that actually she has herself so much more strength than she thought. So it kind of has also a feminist kind of take to it. I really enjoyed it personally, but like I said, it's not for everybody. The only thing, of course, this film is sold as horror, and it is complicated. I would say it's drama slash horror film, but I think it is a really good movie, an exploration of how cults look like sometimes. So if you're interested in cults like I am, I think that you would really enjoy this film. So I hope that you enjoyed kind of my quick review on 8 films, because I watched 8 out of the 10 movies that were shown in the Fantasy Film Fest in Cologne, Germany. There is another festival that is happening, I believe, in September, which is, I think, a whole week long. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to participate, but if I am, I'll make sure to let you know what movies are running and my thoughts on them if I go. So I hope that you still enjoyed to hear my thoughts on the 8 films that I did watch. So these are festival films, so maybe you don't know of all of them, because some of them are a little bit more indie. So I hope that you found something that, you know, it's kind of sparking your interest that you hadn't heard of before. Let me know your thoughts of any of these films if you've already watched them, and I will hope to see you all guys in our next video, in our next coffee time. Bye!